Hi, I'm Dr. Sarah Chin, and this is the story of how my family learned that sometimes the biggest impact comes from the most unexpected places. In the Chin family, success had a very specific definition. My older sister, Emily, was the CEO of Metropolitan Health Group, running their chain of luxury private hospitals. My younger brother, Michael, was a renowned plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills, catering to celebrities. Both lived in mansions, drove exotic cars, and represented everything our parents valued: prestige, wealth, and status. Me? I worked as a primary care physician in a small-town clinic in rural Pennsylvania. Or at least, that's what my family thought was my only role in healthcare. What a waste. Mom would sigh during our rare family gatherings. Sarah was top of her class at Johns Hopkins. Now she's treating colds and flu in some backwater town. What they didn't know was that while they chased prestigious titles and wealthy patients, I was quietly building a healthcare revolution. My small-town clinic was actually the testing ground for an innovative healthcare management system I'd developed, one that would transform medical care delivery across America. It started 8 years ago after my residency. While Emily and Michael pursued high-profile medical careers, I saw something different: the broken healthcare system and the opportunity to fix it. A rural clinic? Dad had scoffed when I took the job. With your credentials, you could be running a department at any major hospital. I smiled and kept quiet, because while they thought I was just treating common ailments and writing prescriptions, I was gathering data and developing solutions. My clinic became a laboratory for testing new healthcare delivery models, integrating telemedicine, and creating AI-driven diagnostic tools that would revolutionize patient care. The system I created, Health Connect, could optimize everything from patient scheduling to treatment protocols, making quality healthcare both more accessible and more affordable. While my family bragged about their exclusive medical practices at charity galas, I was quietly acquiring struggling hospitals and clinics through my company, Heartland Healthcare Solutions. I lived modestly despite my growing success, staying in a small house near my clinic and driving a practical SUV. Not because I had to, but because I believed healthcare leadership should be about service, not status. The turning point came at our family's annual reunion at the Chin estate. Emily had just acquired another luxury hospital for Metropolitan Health, and the family gathered to celebrate her visionary leadership. I arrived straight from my clinic, still wearing scrubs under my coat. Emily's face twisted in disapproval as soon as she saw me. "Oh, Sarah," she sighed, smoothing her designer dress. "Couldn't you at least pretend to be successful for one day?" Michael arrived next with his wife Jennifer, both looking like they'd stepped off a magazine cover. "Hey, country doctor, still treating chicken pox and scraped knees?" I took my seat quietly at the far end of the table. The community needs good health care. Dad raised his glass, beaming at Emily. "To my brilliant daughter, building the future of healthcare. Now that's what a Chin should be." Emily preened under the attention. "Actually, I have more news. Metropolitan Health is planning a major expansion. We're acquiring several regional hospitals to create the largest private healthcare network in the Northeast." I sipped my water to hide my smile. They had no idea that Heartland Healthcare, my company, already owned most of those regional hospitals. The major expansion would have to go through me. Speaking of healthcare, Michael smirked. "I just opened my 4th plastic surgery center. Made 7 figures last month alone. What about you, Sarah? Still making pennies with your Medicare patients?" Mom shook her head sadly. "I just don't understand it. We gave you all the same opportunities. Let's be honest, Emily declared, tapping her glass for attention. We're here to celebrate excellence in medicine. Sarah. She looked at me with practiced pity. Maybe it's better if you go. This kind of achievement is clearly beyond your aspirations. The room fell silent. Dad nodded in agreement, while Mom studied her plate. Emily's right, Dad said firmly. This celebration is for those who truly understand success in medicine. Sarah, perhaps it's best if you leave. We wouldn't want to make you feel inadequate. I looked around the table at my family. Emily's smug smile, Michael's barely concealed contempt, Mom's embarrassed avoidance, Dad's dismissive wave. Slowly, I stood up, placing my napkin beside my untouched plate. Thank you for making your feelings clear, I said quietly. Enjoy your celebration. As I walked to my SUV, I pulled out my phone and sent 4 emails that would shake the foundations of their medical empire. Tomorrow morning, the Chen family would learn exactly what kind of small-town doctor they'd just humiliated. And the future of healthcare would never be the same. The next morning dawned crisp and cool as I parked my SUV in front of Metropolitan Health's corporate headquarters. Emily's crisis meeting was scheduled for 9 a.m., a meeting she didn't yet know I would be attending. I watched from the lobby as my family arrived one by one, their faces strained. Emily rushed in first, her perfect composure cracking as she barked orders into her phone. Michael arrived next, having cut short his celebrity consultations to handle what he'd been told was a family emergency. Mom and Dad came last, clutching the urgent messages they'd received about Metropolitan Health's future. What's going on? Michael demanded when he saw Emily. I had to reschedule Kardashians for this. Emily's hands trembled as she checked her tablet. All our acquisition deals are frozen. Every regional hospital we were targeting suddenly pulled out. And our existing partners are talking about terminating contracts. That's impossible, Dad protested. Those deals were locked in. I stepped out of the elevator, still wearing my small-town doctor's white coat. Actually, they weren't. Sarah? Mom's eyes widened. What are you doing here? I'm here for the board meeting, I replied calmly. Shall we head up? Board meeting? Emily's laugh was brittle. This is a private executive session. You need to leave. I smiled, sliding my ID card through the executive floor security scanner. It turned green immediately. After you, I gestured as the doors opened. The confusion on their faces turned to shock as we entered the boardroom. My executive team from Heartland Healthcare was already seated, along with representatives from every major hospital group in the region. What is this? Emily demanded. This, I said, taking my place at the head of the table, is where we discuss the future of healthcare in this region and your role in it. I clicked a remote, bringing up Heartland Healthcare's portfolio on the screen. While you were building luxury hospitals for the wealthy, I was creating something else, a healthcare network that serves everyone. That's impossible, Michael stammered, staring at the numbers. Heartland Healthcare currently owns or manages 217 hospitals and clinics across the country, I continued. That small-town clinic where I work? It's our innovation hub, where we perfect the healthcare delivery systems now used in facilities serving over 20 million patients annually. Emily collapsed into a chair, her face ashen. The regional hospitals, they're all yours. Through various subsidiaries, yes, including the ones you were planning to acquire. I pulled up more slides showing our technology platforms and patient care metrics. Health Connect, our proprietary management system, has reduced costs by 40% while improving patient outcomes by 60%. Numbers that Metropolitan Health has never come close to achieving. "But you're just a small-town doctor," Dad whispered. "I am a doctor," I corrected him. "One who saw that healthcare needed to change. While you were all chasing prestige, I was building a system that makes quality care accessible to everyone, not just the wealthy." "So what now?" Emily's voice was small. "You're going to destroy Metropolitan Health." I stood up, walking to the window overlooking the city. "That depends on you. Metropolitan Health has good facilities, but poor management. You chase profits while ignoring community needs. That changes today." Over the next hour, I outlined two options. Either Metropolitan Health would be absorbed into Heartland Healthcare, with Emily and Michael taking reduced roles under proper supervision, or they could compete against us and lose everything within 6 months. "Why didn't you tell us?" Mom asked, tears in her eyes. "Would you have listened?" I replied gently. "Or would you have tried to turn it into another luxury brand for the elite?" The next 6 months transformed not just Metropolitan Health, but our entire family. Emily learned to measure success in lives improved rather than profits earned. Michael started offering reconstructive surgery to trauma victims alongside his celebrity clients. And my parents, they finally came to visit my clinic, watching as I treated patients from all walks of life. "Now we understand," Dad said quietly, observing the efficient, caring environment we created. "You can think smaller. You thought bigger than any of us." 1 year later, we gathered for another family reunion. This time, when success was discussed, it wasn't about profit margins or celebrity clients. It was about lives saved, communities served, and healthcare transformed. I still work at my small-town clinic 3 days a week. Still live in my modest house. Still drive my practical SUV. But now, when my family talks about healthcare, no one mocks rural medicine anymore. Instead, they ask how they can help make quality healthcare more accessible to everyone. Because sometimes, the quiet ones, the ones dismissed as small time, are the ones changing the world, while others are too busy counting their money to notice. And sometimes the best revenge isn't proving others wrong. It's showing them a better way to be right. That's not just good medicine. That's good humanity. And in the end, that's worth more than all the luxury hospitals in the world.